Happy Monday, Notre Dame fans. Mike Singer and Tyler Horka from Blue and Gold with a post Marcus Freeman rapid reaction video. Freeman met with reporters noon Eastern on Monday, and you can find the highlights of that press conference on our Blue and Gold YouTube page. This video, we're going to have Tyler Horka, our beat writer at Blue and Gold, give his reaction to what Freeman had to say. So we'll start with what I thought was probably the most interesting thing of the entire half-hour press conference, Tyler, was when Freeman was asked about that double safety blitz that led to the crucial Ohio State touchdown. Freeman just kind of grimaced. What did you make of his reaction, and what did he say about that play as well?
I think a lot of Notre Dame fans grimaced when it actually happened, and upon thinking about it back, like Freeman had to today during his press conference. But Freeman said he wouldn't change the call. So basically, there's a lot of moving parts here. They called a zero blitz. That means both safeties are coming. It's man on the outside. And basically, if you don't get to the quarterback, you're leaving your defensive backs who do drop back, which would be the corners, on an island. Freshman Jaden Mickey was one of those guys. He had to cover an Ohio State wide receiver one-on-one, and we saw the result. But Freeman did say this as well. He said, yeah, it's a zero blitz. That's what we called. Al Golden and Marcus Freeman both agreed that was the call. They had been waiting to do something like that. I think it was 3rd and long. And they said, look, it's now or never. We're going to get to the quarterback here. We're going to keep a touchdown off the board, and we're going to stay in this game. It was 10-7 Notre Dame at that time. Ohio State ended up taking the lead on that play and kept it for good. But Ramon Henderson and Brandon Joseph are your safeties that rushed the quarterback on that play. They were supposed to find something pre-snap that said, hey, maybe one of us should stay back. A little help over the top wouldn't hurt. Because that play, if you remember, went right down the middle of the field. If you had a safety back, maybe C.J. Stroud doesn't even throw that ball. Ohio State doesn't score that touchdown. It's a different ball game. So it was a learning experience. Communication is what Freeman harped on with that play. They said, hey, we're going to call this zero blitz, this safety blitz, but if it doesn't look like you guys should go, somebody stay back. They both went, and the rest is history. Notre Dame loses the lead on that play, and they never get the lead back.
Yep, 3rd and 11 from the 24-yard line. Notre Dame throws out what our analysts at Blue and Gold have called one of the worst play calls you'll see. But yeah, communication was not on a good display there. So yeah, Tyler Horka was in the shoe Saturday night, and here he is now on Monday afternoon in front of Notre Dame Stadium. Tyler, you got a pretty sweet job, man. You've got a pretty sweet job.
Could be worse. Worse.
Of course. So in this exact video last week, we talked about Jarrett Patterson and being like, yeah, we don't think he's going to play. He didn't. He gave it a shot. He was a true game time decision. But again, Patterson did not get the start at left guard. Andrew Kristofic played. What's his status for this week, Tyler?
Yeah, I was on the field pregame, and we've got some video here, which is awesome. The access was awesome. Like you said, awesome job just to be out there watching these guys get ready for a game of that magnitude. I was closely watching Jarrett Patterson, and I just said, this guy's not moving very well. He's favoring that right foot. If you're an offensive lineman, you have to be full go and putting 300-plus pounds on your foot, planting, going up against Ohio State defensive linemen who could really bring it, and they did. Those stunts, if Jarrett Patterson was playing in that game, it would have been a nightmare for his foot because the Jim Knowles defense was doing its thing, creating a lot of chaos and havoc. For this week, it's the same exact timeline. I think Jarrett Patterson's going to be a true game time decision. Obviously, with a week of rest and health and getting back, he's going to be the prognosis is a little better now than it was a week ago, but still all those same things that I just said hold true. He's got to be able to be comfortable and confident playing on that foot. And look, it's Marshall, so you do have the leeway of maybe resting him a little bit more. And Andrew Kristofic, we might see him again, especially if this game gets out of hand. You don't need Jarrett Patterson in that game. So it's going to be the exact same timeline. Saturday, you will find out if Jarrett Patterson is playing or not, because there's really no need for Marcus Freeman to tip his hand on, say, Thursday in that press conference and say, yeah, Jarrett Patterson is going to play this week. I think it's going to go up until Saturday again.
So looking at the wide receiver snap count chart, which Patrick Engel at Blue and Gold wrote, and you can find that on the website, I'll give you guys a sneak peek. Braden Lindsey led the way with 43 snaps. I think it was Notre Dame with 48 or 49 total offensive plays. Matt Salerno was one of the surprises. 8 snaps, got in there good. But Joe Wilkins, another surprise, only 1. Lorenzo Styles, 36, and Jaden Thomas, 30. yeah, it's just crazy to think that Matt Salerno and Jaden Thomas have passed up Joe Wilkins on the depth chart. Now, does Wilkins' health play into that at all? I'm not 100% sure, but man, that's again interesting. And then Tobias Merriweather did not play at all, and Freeman was asked about that.
I just think it's one of those things that we saw him in fall camp when we're like, oh, this guy's new. This guy is 6'4". He's got length. The measurables are there. You could see him being a factor in a college football game, but then you got to realize he's never played in one of those. He has never played in a college football game, and it's a little bit different. Maybe Jaden Mickey, Benjamin Morrison, obviously they played a whole lot of snaps, but that's a situation where you have two confident guys. You're comfortable with what they can do defensively. On the flip side of that, this Notre Dame wide receiver core, Tobias Merriweather plays into the narrative that these guys are inexperienced. They're not ready for the moment. Maybe Mickey and Morrison are ready for the moment just because they have a confidence piece that, I don't know, Merriweather, we've never talked to him. We're not sure if that confidence piece is there with him or not. And that's what Freeman said today. He said, look, he's still gaining the trust of this coaching staff. We weren't ready to put him out there in that environment with those 106,000 fans around. So it's just a maturation process with Tobias Merriweather. I don't think he's quite there yet, but hey, if Jaden Thomas, like you said, can go out there for 30 snaps and only get one target, Lorenzo Styles, who we talk so highly of, I think he's an awesome athlete, a great wide receiver. If he's only targeted 2 times in 36 snaps, something's missing. Maybe Merriweather's not ready for that, and he would get no targets if he was out there for 35 snaps, but I mean, what's the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. If the same holds true for this Notre Dame wide receiving core and Lorenzo Styles is just not getting open and he's not a factor, and the same goes for Thomas and Lenzy and all those other guys, I think if Joe Wilkins is healthy, put him in. If Tobias Merriweather, you want to see what he does have, you're not going to know until he's out there, put him in. The Notre Dame wide receiver group, there's issues there. The issues that we talked about all offseason are there. They've got to figure some things out.
Yeah, certainly would expect Merriweather to get in this week against Marshall, maybe Cal, so that will come. You mentioned Morrison and Mickey. Morrison 29 snaps and Mickey 12 at the cornerback positions. Lastly, Marcus Freeman was asked about Tyler Buchner. I just in our YouTube shows and reading comments on our loose emoji board at Blue and Gold, it seems like the fans are just kind of split on Buchner right now. Some believe they had a really good game. Some are kind of over it, maybe just because Notre Dame lost and they want to get upset about the quarter. I don't know. I'm in the camp of Buchner he impressed me. When you kind of look at all things considered in the context, seemed to impress Marcus Freeman.
He did. Marcus Freeman flat out said, we have something in Tyler Buchner, and he's going to be a good quarterback and a good leader for the future. He said that after the game. He said that today in his Monday press conference. I'm leaning toward that as well. I think for me, the biggest thing was, how does Tyler Buchner start in this game? Like legitimately start in that first quarter, not just the fact that he was starting a game for the first time, but I wanted to see what he did early on. Goes 8 for 8 for 128 yards and outplays CJ Stroud in the first half. Now, was some of that Tommy Rees actually scheming up a good script in that first half? I think Tommy Rees is an excellent scripter. Notre Dame looked very good in that first half, obviously fell off in the second half, and Buchner didn't play as well. But for me, the question with Buchner was, is the moment too big? The answer was no. And can he make plays? The answer was yes. See the throw to Matt Salerno, which that was more of a Matt Salerno play, but Buchner had to make the throw. He had to make the throw to Braden Lenzy, which was probably his best throw of the game. Converted twice to Michael Mayer on third down, including right before Audric Estime scored what is still the only touchdown of Notre Dame's season. So playmaking is there. I would have liked to see more of his legs. I don't know how he only runs 11 times for 18 yards. He got sacked a couple of times, and that played into it. But, that's his strength. Get him out, get him running. I think that was more of Ohio State's defense being really good. Jim Knowles was a difference maker in that game. Tyler Buchner went up against a really good opponent in a very hostile environment. Did he win? No. Did he make enough plays for Notre Dame to win? No. But he didn't make any losing plays, didn't turn the ball over. Marcus Freeman was very happy about that as well. I think the reins are his as long as he stays healthy the rest of the season, unless things turn really sour. I don't really forecast that right now.
Yeah, good stuff. Tyler Horka reporting from just outside Notre Dame Stadium. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that thumbs up Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not yet. Go to blueandgold.com, $1 for 1 year of premium access. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.